Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm Candace Renee, and welcome back to Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience. I'm excited here because today's guest brings wisdom, grace, and a grounded presence to everything that she does. She's a proud mother of two beautiful girls, and she moves through the world with intention, confidence, and authenticity. So, this conversation is all about how she creates space, sets a tone, and lives fully. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I've been brought here today because one, you invited me. Um,
It starts.
I feel like this is a conversation that needs to be had. And I feel like what brings me here is that for one, I'm Black. So I feel like I'm very much a part of this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I have two daughters. I am married. And I just feel like it's necessary to have these conversations and put it out there and be open because just in previous just situations and just kind of like how we've been brought up has kind of been like hush hush.
Yep.
You don't talk about the things that we experience, so we think we're alone. And I don't want my daughters to feel that way. I want them to be able to know like there is community, there are other people out there that are experiencing the same things that they experience, and everyone just doesn't talk about it.
I appreciate that insight. I truly do. With all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead in case some people haven't had the chance to understand like what we're going to be talking about today. I'm gonna play the actual subsection of what we're going to be diving into today. Okay.
Okay.
The positive or negative treatment of others. Now, where have we seen this before in history? My grandmother taught me that history repeats itself and that there is nothing new under the sun. When speaking of treatment, we dive into the respectability complex, which is a set of beliefs and behaviors rooted in oppression, where policing each other to fit white standards is deemed necessary, judging accents, clothes, hairstyles, and emotions, reinforcing the idea that there's only one right way to be Black. You might have heard, you making us look bad. But where does this come from? It's a phrase and mentality born from fear, not unity. It's rooted in the idea that white eyes are always watching, and where monitoring each other becomes a form of control. Next, so, whew, this actual first intro video was like near and dear to my heart. It took a lot of time, as you know, Jessica. It took a lot of time to get this information together. And to all of those who will be watching this, do not think I'm crying. This mascara didn't hit my eye, it just hit the tear duct. So there's nothing I can do about it. So y'all will be seeing me
It's
wipe
okay to
my
cry.
eye, but this is
It's
also
okay to
touching too.
cry. It's okay. You're with people who love you. It's okay.
Oh, God, Jesus. So my question to you, Jessica, is like, what did you think about the video?
For one, the video is great. I'm not biased at all. But there are other parts to this video. So for those of you who are watching who have not yet watched the video, please do that. But because of course, like the video, it talked more than just respectability complex. That's more so what we're talking about now. But in the video, you also went into why the divide is even here, like why we are divided to even feel like we are alone in these situations.
Mhm.
And, that was something that was utilized against us, way, of course, back into slavery. Everyone, talks about slavery, but it's a thing. Like, regardless if slavery is still happening now, is a conversation, but we can't deny that the effects of slavery still follow us today in how we behave and
Absolutely.
how we treat each other. Um, One point you did make in the video that you did not show was you made a quote and you said, "We need to heal what never meant to be whole."
Mhm.
And that's the divide. Like we were literally all separated with different experiences based off of the color of your skin, your how they felt what your importance was to society.
Right.
And with that happening, it gave people like, oh, for instance, in your video, you mentioned the divide, what, like between the house, the field, the house, and the boardroom. So simply the field and the house, easily today we can just say dark-skinned Black people versus light-skinned Black people.
Right.
And because of that divide, it gave us like a superiority complex within our own community. Like the lighter you are, the closer to whiteness, and the closer you are to being successful in this world. And I mean, it's necessary to have the conversation because it's just simply not true, and how you can be good for society. But also the other thing, so again, we're here for respectability complex, right? And in the video, you mentioned that it was pretty much us policing each other to basically fit white standards.
Right.
And whether we realize it or not, we do this literally every single day. Whether we're out at the grocery store, you see somebody's child who happens to be Black, and you look at them and be like, hey, do you see the people who are watching you? Like,
that look.
Like, get it together. People are watching, and it's not necessarily because we feel like our people are watching.
Right.
It's white people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we've all heard our Black parents at one point say, don't embarrass me in front of these white people.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And that's been instilled in us from just being a child. Like, white people are watching, act accordingly, act how they want us to act.
It's even the concept, since you mentioned that, it's also the concept of that yes ma'am, no sir aspect that came from servitude, that came from understanding survival tactics, which I'll talk about later, right? But that's where that comes from. So all of these things have been ingrained within us for survival. All of these have been ingrained within us for us to have a place of belonging and or a place of being, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me about how this respectability complex, like where do you see this in your children's life? Where do you see this in how you raise them, your girls?
As far as like how okay, so for instance, I grew up with it. Like, I feel like we've all grown up with it, as far as kind of watching how we talk, around certain people, how we dress, how we react in a certain situation in public, don't be too loud, stuff like that. And honestly, like, I've been aware of it, but it didn't become more in my face until my kids became school age. And we live in an area where it's not super heavily populated with Black people. So very soon it became a thing where trying to teach them how to act in public versus how white people want you to act in public. Like, it's like a fine line of trying to determine what's respectable and what's expected from white people, so to say. So just, when they first started school, of course, like, there were, they would have questions like, oh, my friend such and such said, why do I say this word this way? And, as they learn English, of course, but based off of your background, where you live, you say certain words a certain kind of way.
Right.
And you would refer to that as what do we call it?
African American vernacular, or Ebonics.
Ebonics. There you go. Ebonics. And it's like, it's always a thing where people will say, speak English. It's like, I'm speaking English. And just because you don't necessarily understand or relate to what I'm saying does not necessarily mean that I'm not speaking English. It's just, I'm not talking to you.
Right.
So that's been a thing. So just trying to navigate it as they've been in school. It's been a little difficult because sometimes naturally you want to kind of go back to the what you've been taught, as in speak clearly, pronounce all of your words, and like I want you to be able to speak clearly, right? But I also want you to be able to relate to people that are in your community and to be able to, you know, just just relax. Like you don't have to feel like you're always under a microscope being ridiculed or judged based off of how you are talking or acting in school or outside of school, what you're wearing, how you choose to wear your hair. Like it's been a struggle to be able to kind of coach myself really in the process so that I'm not passing down that, I mean, really the trauma, like passing down the trauma of feeling like you have to fit in with a certain group of people that you were really never meant to fit in with. Coexist, yes, but you don't have to be like them to be able to coexist with them.
That's a really valid point. Where do you think social media plays into this?
Um, well, I can't really speak for my girls in as far as social media because I kind of keep them out of it.
Yep.
But I mean, really social media just kind of opens up the door for you really to see how people feel about you because they have nothing, like you're not by them, right? Like people feel like they can freely say what they want to say and kind of just show you their true colors. And I feel like when they do get into the social media world, they will be more exposed to people of other races, not just white people, like any other race. Like it's been put out there so much, like a specific stereotype about us as a whole that I mean other races feel they feel the same way, not by experience, just by off of what white people tell them they should feel, because we're not the only race affected by that.
So do you feel that like the respectability complex is like used as a cloak for protection and or safety for Black people?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like our elders use that cloak, as you say, for safety. And I mean, I love them dearly. I love them dearly, but they
Look, as do
they
I.
yeah, I love them dearly, but I don't feel like they at that time understood kind of what they were fostering. Like I don't think it was intentional because they were taught how to just be safe. Like you want to be able to live your life and not be bothered or harassed by anybody else. So of course we were taught how just, keep your head down, speak nicely, don't be loud, don't be angry. Whatever. I'm sorry, my cat is eating something that I'm sure she should not be eating, so I got distracted. Uh, but but yeah, like our elders, like no pun intended, but they literally taught us how to survive the world and not thrive in the world. Like how I did that? Like I did that. Uh,
I love it.
Um, yeah, so it's kind of like that, don't ask questions, just do as I tell you and you will do good. Like, do as I said. I don't have to really give you my reason, but because half the time they probably didn't know why they were still doing those things or teaching us how to live a certain kind of way.
I think it very much taught us like to have a subservient like mentality. Um so as I had kind of touched briefly into like the legacy of like survival tactics and things as such, it's not surprising because the key word is survival. So what was the alternative to not being respectable or the proxy or living and or breathing that notion of whiteness is the pillar, right, of living. This is what I should be striving to in fact do. and this is what I should be striving to in fact be. And so it's definitely a mindset that like has to be dismantled. Let me see. I have so many things written down, but
I think kind of a part of that also is the lack of representation. Like,
you know what? Yeah.
we only see whiteness do great. And when we
Well, we
do
have
see
Oprah.
blackness do great,
We have
Huh?
Oprah. I said, well, we have Oprah. We have Tyler, right?
do we have
Something that Tyler Perry had in fact said, and I don't want to misspeak, but I'm going to kind of paraphrase it, was that his biggest thing when he came out was that people began to think about like, oh my gosh, this is a man dressing as a woman, right? And then people didn't see the background of what that man was doing at the end of the day, because he ended up buying the land.
Right.
And now he owned that land. And so it's like people didn't understand, like, yes, I understand the concept behind it too, of like what you're doing. Like you shouldn't have to do that in order to get that. But like at a certain point, it very much seems like we have to do whatever we can to just to get a pinch. Like, I mean, a pinch, a grain of salt. And
just get a crumb of the pie.
to get a crumb, to get a crumb. So
Yeah.
in regards to excellence, right? What is the distinguishing factor between like striving for excellence and conforming to white standards? Like, what do you think is the middle ground, or what do you think it is? Or the difference, I should say.
Well, of course, striving for whiteness, I would assume would be just kind of living your life based off of how white people would kind of see fit for you. So that's going to college, graduating high school, go to college, get a degree, go into corporate, or if not corporate, open a business and just basically have money and be allegedly productive in society. Now, granted, being productive in society is kind of something you should be doing regardless, but it's your level of productivity. Like if you're not doing it, the way that a white person would do it, it's not deemed good enough or legit enough for society. So even when it comes down to people doing trades, opposed to say going to college, like that used to be a thing that our people our people did that based off of those were the skills that we learned,
Yep.
As a people stemming from slavery. So of course, like the people in the field, like they made their life based off of hard labor. And so as we kind of came out of slavery, we ventured away from doing those skilled labor jobs because we kind of wanted to divert, associating ourselves with working in the field, doing hard work. We wanted to now be in the house and start going into corporate. It's like doing corporate jobs. And so I kind of feel like Black excellence is not necessarily what you do to be productive in society, but just be productive in a sense that you're productive with your community, whether that's being, say, a Black man, having like, the Black Boys Association, where you can just be a mentor and be able to just kind of steer your people. And because it's a thing that we're not really community anymore. Like we're very much individual.
Yep.
And we navigate our life based off of what works for me and not necessarily what works for our community. So, with Black excellence, like we have to be able to do that. I feel like that would be just literally us being productive for society and coming together and being able to help each other be productive in society, whether that's someone going to school. You need to raise money to get this boy to college because he wants to be a doctor for his community and be able to teach nutrition and keep everyone healthy, then being able to do that, whether it's the little girl who is also loves nutrition, and she wants to learn how to have a garden and be able to grow things within that garden that are good for you, whether it be fruits, vegetables, and teaching everybody else in your community how to eat healthy and stuff like that. Like, I see that as Black excellence, literally just looking out for each other and being able to have a safe space that if you're not doing good, you have someone that can help you. And the thing is with like whiteness, to me, in my opinion, I don't feel like they're very community based people, really. And I think that's also where like that kind of like that dog eat dog world comes from. And again, why we see being individuals versus a community is better, because who's going to look out better for you than yourself? That's what you think. You don't think other people can relate to you or understand or even help you get to where you need to, because you don't really see them do you don't really see them do that. Yeah.
Those are all really good points. Oh, I'm trying to ponder on this one. So, do you feel that the respectability complex always harms us?
I don't feel like it always harms us. I mean, I guess it depends on how you how you look at it. If you're referring to us like policing each other on how to act, as far as like I said, like how we talk, how we dress, how we respond in certain situations, um, I think it's necessary to a certain extent to be able to hold each other accountable, not necessarily for the white vote and how they approve of us, but just how we want to present ourselves in general. Now, we are very much known for being loud people, and I have no problem with that.
That part.
But there's also a time and a place,
You're
right?
right.
Like, if you're in a certain environment, it's okay. Like, if I'm outside, we're having a party, I can be loud.
I mean,
If
as
we
soon as
are
we learned
just
the inside voice, the outside voice. It's very
inside
simple.
voice, outside voice. Yeah. And like, it's okay. Like, it should not be anything wrong with that. Everyone is different. Like, if a certain community prefers to be more quiet in public, that's okay. Like, I'm not going to judge you because you're choosing to be quiet, but I should also be able to feel safe enough that I could be loud and not come off as aggressive or problematic or whatever the case is. But yes, I do feel like it's a good and bad to it, but it's more so just when it's okay to do certain things. And speaking on that, as far as our accents and how we talk, I feel like that should be okay wherever we are. Like, of course, you know, taking out some of the slang terms, right?
Right.
Like, not crazy slang that's, associated with certain environments. I mean, anything, even like, say if I see you and I'm at work and I say, hey girl, I should be comfortable with doing that, whether you're Black or if you're white, and not feel like you think like, oh, well, she's not professional. And it kind of goes into that code switching that, she's gonna touch on that eventually, guys. But it's draining. It's very draining to feel like you have to always alter your personality. It like, who I am when I'm talking to my friends is not who I am all the time talking to people at work. And I truly should not have to change that.
I remember when I was in school, when I went to school I think that was when I was going for my bachelor's, I had to do a paper on double consciousness by W.E.B. Du Bois. So, I should say the terminology was coined by him. And it was pretty much, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's pretty much seeing yourself through the eyes of another, meaning that self-policing of yourself and like how you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. Like, he might as well also use the word code switching, because you're absolutely right in regards to that. It is very, very draining in regards to, you want to show up who you are, but you can't, but you can see a peer and they can show up how they are at work, the same way they are
Mm,
in other spaces.
mm,
Something that I'm also going to touch base on, which you're aware of, and those who have watched this is aware that I will be definitely going into colorism and texturism in the workplace. I will definitely be going into that. Because it's
mm.
natural with straight stuff conversation. Oh, this we should have been having this. um, but let me see. So, why do you think this topic of respectability? I mean, you kind of went into a vast detail of like what it is, in regards to the identity of yourself, the identity of your children as well, what you don't want them to experience. You went into detail in regards to where you think it comes from, and how you don't pretty much allow this respectability complex to overrule your life and or your children's lives either. So tell me if you can share something with your girls in regards to their identity and their worth, what would that be?
I know from a young age that they become hyper aware of how they present themselves, how the world sees them. But I want them to be able to know, like, you are enough, like, you are good enough how you are. You can be intelligent and you can also speak Ebonics at the same time. Like, I don't want them to navigate the world, say, as I did growing up, trying to find my place and trying to figure out how I want the world to see me versus how I just want to present myself to the world. Being able to be authentic and versus, you know, um, I cannot think of the word right now. I literally just had a brain fart. But
It happens.
it's late, guys. I just want y'all to know that. But I just want them to be authentic, really. Like, I don't want them to conform. Just be your own person. No, no one person is alike. Even within our community, none of us are alike. We've had very similar experiences, and there are some things that you might experience that I might not, and some that I might experience that you might not, but that doesn't invalidate someone else's experience. Like, you can learn from those experiences and you can support each other. And I feel like that's a big thing. I just really want my girls to be able to connect with other people in our community. And it does not have to be all trauma bonding. Like, it could be based off of just accomplishments and things that they have that commonality. Like, I just want them to love and appreciate their community and not feel like you kind of have to steer away from it and steer away from the stereotypes, because that was definitely a thing growing up, that I did not want to be associated with the negative that comes with our community. And with that, I found myself conforming,
Mhm.
you know, uh, it's unfortunate. It was a thing, but
As I'm
just
sure we all
conforming.
have. I mean, we all
Yeah,
had some type of conformity that we prior weren't able to address because we were just doing as we were told because we ain't know no better.
yeah,
But when you know
yeah.
better, you do better.
You do. And I don't want them to try to steer clear of their people. Like, those are your people.
Yeah.
Like, we are together, no matter how the media wants to portray it. We can and we will come together, but it has to start with the younger people now. Like, I mean, we're gonna foster that for them, but it's like it's their opportunity to be able to kind of take in all of our experiences and utilize that to do better when they get older. Because my mom did not talk much about her Black experiences. I don't probably really know too much,
Right.
honestly. It's never been an open conversation. It's like, hey, look, it happened. We're all so used to certain things happening to us that we don't even realize it's it's not okay.
Like that's not
So
normal. Wait a minute.
that's not no. It's like, wait, that happened to you too? Oh, okay. But but again, that's, if we go back to the beginning, the divide and conquer.
Mhm.
If you make people feel isolated and feel alone, nothing's going to change because they feel like they have no one to fall on to kind of really to get together with and change things. If you isolate, if you cut the head off the horse,
No.
like the head, don't take that down, YouTube. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. But yeah.
I think she meant snake, but we're gonna leave it at horse for now. Late.
Yeah. Horse, snake, rat, roach,
Rat.
it don't matter. Everybody seen a roach before? Cut the head off the roach. Hey, I said we're not gonna isolate, okay? We're not gonna divide on this. We have all seen a roach before. We know this.
My eyes just stopped watering.
It's past my bedtime.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in closing, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I'll go ahead and close out. So, what is one takeaway that you hope others don't miss?
Out of that entire video, I would say really just kind of know where it began, if that makes sense. Like, it's not something new that we're experiencing. This has been passed down from generation to generation in generation. And if we can kind of cut that off now, we can just kind of save future generations from literally constantly passing these traumas down to their children and their children and their children. So we understand the importance of how deeply rooted this is. We can understand why we have to work hard now to prevent our future from experiencing it.
So I thank you so much, Miss Jessica. Round of applause. Ah, no? Okay. Thank you. Oh, Lord Jesus. Thank you so much for coming to Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience. I appreciate all the insight, wisdom, all the fun that this was. There's a lot of prepping to this, so let's just be real with everybody. There's a lot of prepping that took place, and this is the first interview for Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience. I thank you so much. I encourage everyone to in fact watch the actual introduction, my introduction video, watch the actual Fieldhouse Boardroom. Make sure you in fact watch that introduction as well, because that will give you quite a bit of insight into where the trajectory of my series is going. I leave you with the words of, please be the change that you want to see and do not conform to normalcy. So, period. So from Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience with Candace Renee, we're out. Bye, everybody.
Bye.